Good morning, everybody. This is Miss Taylor. Today we're going to do an activity where we look at different parts of our lives and we're going to kind of talk about what kinds of things we have control over and what kinds of things we don't have any control over. So having control over something means you have the power to change it or to kind of decide how it turns out. When you don't have control over something, it means that somebody else might have the power to change it or to decide how it turns out, or it might mean that it's just kind of something that's stuck for right now. So I'm going to read you each of these boxes, and whatever we don't get to today, we'll get to tomorrow. But I'm going to read you each box, and when I read a box, I want you guys to think about, is this something that I have the power to change or to decide how it turns out? If it's something you think you have full control over, I want you to give me a thumbs up. And if it's something that you think you don't have any control over, it's either somebody in someone else's control or it's something that no one can control, I want you to give me a thumbs down. Okay? So, don't worry if it takes you a second to get the hang of this, because this is kind of a tricky concept, but let's begin. All right, number one, a person liking you. So if you think that's fully in your control, that's something you can make a decision about, I want you to give me a thumbs up. If you think that that's something that might be in somebody else's control, I want you to give me a thumbs down. I'll give you a couple seconds. All right, a person liking you. That's something that you can't control. Now, you can definitely influence this. Of course, if you are kind to others, then they're more likely to like you. However, that is their decision. Ultimately, whether or not they like you is up to them. So that's kind of something that I would put in the category of being out of your control, because that's their choice. How much TV you watch. So I know some of you might have a limit at home. I was only allowed to watch a half hour a day, but does that mean I had to watch a half hour a day? Or did I have a choice I could make about that? What do you think? Is that something you can control, or is that something you can't control? I'll give you a few seconds. All right, if you think that that's something you can control, then you are correct. How much TV you watch is something that is in your control. All right, somebody smiling at you. So somebody else deciding to smile at you. Is that something you can control, or is that something that you can't control? Is that something that might be in somebody else's control? All right, if you had your thumb down, you are correct. That is something that's in somebody else's control. Other people get to decide whether or not they smile. And you get to decide whether or not you smile. All right, the type of food that you eat. Now, I know some of you might be eating the food that your mom makes for you or your dad makes for you, or just the food that's at home or at school during lunches. But do you get to decide what food you eat on your plate? Do you have to eat all the food on your plate? Or do you kind of get to choose when you take a bite or how much you put on your fork at a time? I'll give you a few seconds. All right, this is something that you can control. How much food you eat is totally up to you. All right, since our time is running low, I'm going to have us finish this activity next time. It was great meeting with you all again, and I hope you have a wonderful day.